Anatomy of a transition. In this lesson, I will share with you a bit of my story. An introduction, the corporate illusion, the entrepreneurial reality, the responsibility of being you from 6 years to 6 months. Transitioning from a successful corporate career in finance and biotech to entrepreneurship was a pivotal moment in my life. As an institutional equity broker for one of the top 5 North American banks, I experienced what many would consider the pinnacle of career success. But after 15 passionate, I must say, and intense years, I left the industry for ethical reasons. You certainly remember the subprime crisis and the Madoff scandal and all the impact it had on the industry, and many people around it lost their jobs. So that's when I left. I was very lucky. That's one of the things I can boast about, is that I was very lucky to have never been made redundant. They kept me, but nevertheless, I left all my team. So we had no more traders working for us. Well, basically, the team was left with 5 people, from 20 people to 5 people. And the way everything happened was just so violent that I could not stand it. So I decided to leave the industry and to leave the corporate world exactly at that time. That life-changing shift from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur taught me profound lessons about identity, responsibility, and emotions management. In this lesson, I'd like to share with you the key life and business insights I've gained from my 6 years as a serial entrepreneur. So I'll distill everything I've learned and implemented in building 2 successful businesses into the program you are in. So that's basically the Spark System 180 program. But this is an introduction. I would like to explain you and to tell you why I created that program. So let's go back to the corporate illusion, as I call it. So I was working for a prestigious institution, and yes, it comes with undeniable perks, like a beautiful business card, a great title, a very solid and robust institution and company behind me, and they had my back. So I was protected in a way. In my role as an institutional biotech equity broker, I had the confidence that came with representing a powerful identity. And yes, I was often praised for my ability to navigate complex financial markets, but mainly to secure deals in a very specific niche, which is biotechnology. And I realized that much of this success was also tied not only to me as a person, but to the name on my business card and to the company itself. I don't know if this makes sense for you, but this is really the way I felt. So it was easy in a way. I did not realize it at the time, but it was easy to feel accomplished when I had the bank's vast resources and reputation behind me. But it also created a comfortable illusion. The truth is, I was somewhat hiding behind the company's identity, allowing me to overshadow my own. This is something I realized years later, actually. It's not something that was clear for me when I was working in the company. So the reality is that I didn't have to bear the full weight of decisions. The company did and my clients did. Of course, when they decided to sign a contract or make deals to raise capital, and invest in a company that was their decision. It was not my decision. So basically what I want to share with you here is that the risk was spread across the institution itself. So while I was performing really well, I was not fully exposed or tested as an individual. Now, let's see what the entrepreneurial reality was. The shift stripped away very rapidly the comfort and security that came with my corporate role. So suddenly there was no well-known brand to lean on, just me. And the worst at the beginning for me, it's that I was alone. And it never happened to me before. I was always surrounded by a team with an assistant, traders, and other brokers. And we were always exchanging ideas. You know, there was no decision was made without sharing ideas with my colleagues or my boss. I was always surrounded. We were about 20 people. It was that's the team we were working, you know, all together. And suddenly I was all alone at home. And I realized that every decision, every action, and every mistake was mine to own. And this transition was both exhilarating and terrifying. The key lesson I've learned was that entrepreneurship demands a level of identity and self-awareness that being an employee does not. It's something that we will discuss all along during this program. It's very important, and I understand that it's not something that happens overnight. It's a process. It's something that you feel inside you, and you feel it growing inside you. So this is what I want to share here with you. In the corporate world, I could succeed without fully being myself, actually. The company's brand did much of the heavy lifting. As an entrepreneur, however, the success is deeply personal. And suddenly you have to be you, with all the flaws and all the advantages and all the beautiful things that are inside you. But it was not something that was really obvious for me. So at the beginning of my journey, I quickly discovered that my emotions were intricately tied to my company in a way they never had been before. So to my company or the project I had. So every success, every setback felt intensely personal, as if the company's fate was an extension of my own. We will speak about how to manage your emotions. It's very important as an entrepreneur. So it's just something that I'm discussing now, but it's something that we will develop also later on in future lessons. So this was a stark contrast to my corporate life, where my role, though important, was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. I was shielded by the corporate machine, and my emotions were often detached from the outcomes. You know, I was not, of course, I cared about my clients. I built relationships and, you know, long-lasting and loyal relationships with my clients, but my emotions were not that tied to the company and to the outcome as they were when I became an entrepreneur. It actually took me years of trial and error to fully grasp the mechanism behind this emotional connection and to realize that it's completely normal. That's what I believe. These words will certainly resonate with you, and I want you to know that if you feel this way, it's completely normal. The most important thing is for you to be aware of that. So this part of the journey as an entrepreneur, taking responsibility for where you are, what you do, and what you choose not to do. So this is really important, because nobody else will do it for you. And you have to own it. You have to own and take the responsibility of everything that you do and everything that you do not do. Because your growth as an entrepreneur is also your growth as a person. And it hinges on your ability to embrace responsibility and turn the guidance, the tools, the support and systems that you will be provided with into actionable results.